Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Clari from Clari's Creations. Welcome. Today we're doing another collaboration called Crafting Our Way to Christmas series number 6. Yes, and as you see, I love me some snowman. And I'm going to be creating another snowman. Now, what this collaboration is all about is I am doing different collaborations with different creators, and today is series number 6, and I'm doing it together with Brenda from Rustic and Lace. She's a talented creator. You need to check her out. She is so crafty, and she's so sweet and so friendly. And she has a cute little dog called Oliver who always makes his sweet little appearance. Go check her out, okay? Let's get on with our project, okay? So here I am gonna be starting to create my little snowman, and these are all the styrofoam pieces that we're gonna be using. Yeah, we're gonna be even using a heart. Yep, we're building a snowman. Okay, so and this is a special snowman. This is Olaf, my second favorite snowman. Frosty's always first. That's my husband, my childhood husband. All right, so here I take this flat styrofoam from Dollar Tree and I cut out a circle. Then I get a 4-inch ball and I just cut off the top. Now save those pieces because you never know when you might use them. Later on, you'll see I use a piece. So then I take toothpicks, and I also bring out the shish kebab sticks because we're gonna use them later. Then I take the tacky glue and I put it all around the toothpicks and all on the bottom of that piece that I just cut, okay? And then I push it together and I push down firmly so they join together, okay? And the tacky glue is going to help it stay together. Then I take my foam clay. Yes, foam clay. We're going to have some fun today. I'm going to take my foam clay and I'm going to roll it out to a snake, like, because we're going to fill where it divides the flat foam and the round ball, okay, to make that nice and smooth. We're going to do kind of sort of like a gumdrop shape, okay? And this foam that I start with this foam, but then I change buckets because this one is getting a little older and stuff, so it's giving me problems. So I'm putting tacky glue in the seam line, and I'm putting in that foam and smoothing out the area, see? And I bring it up down towards the disc, okay, and up towards the ball. And I roll it on my mat, my silicone mat, okay, and then I take another piece of foam clay, roll it into a ball. Here I'm using the good one. You could tell by when I pull it, it leaves a string. Okay, that means that it's really fresh and soft. And then I roll a ball and I pat this down. Instead of rolling it down, I pat this down. Um, because I couldn't find my roller at the moment. So then, excuse me, I take it and I use my Mod Podge roller to help smooth out my fingerprints and stuff like that. Okay, but it with foam clay, they disappear. Okay, so here I take and I mold it right over the ball and the disc to form like a gumdrop shape. Okay, And this is the main part of the body, the big part, okay? Like the lower part of the body where the hip line would be and stuff like that. Okay, and there I'm showing you how I smooth it all out, rolling it on my mat and patting it down. Then I set it to the side, okay? And I'll be setting all the pieces that I make on that purple mat, okay? Here I'm using a round circle. Those are balloon circles, balloon sizes circles, okay? And they're nice to have. And then here I was doing the math because it's too small. So I had, yeah, my kitty cat helped me. So we had to use add a half inch all around. So this is how I did the figure, okay? So I did that and then I cut it out. And then I had to cut out another one because we're going to need it for later. So might as well get all the dirt done now. And then I need a small one. So that measures the 3 inches. So I do that one. Okay. So here I'm trying to cut it with this and it doesn't do anything, but it helps because it helps me do a perforated line. So I just follow that line and cut it with my knife, and that's my knife I keep in my craft room for sawing stuff like this. Okay, and there I do the impression again, and then I cut that piece off. And that's the piece that we're going to use later on. All right. We do save these pieces. I'm telling you, you never know when you're going to need a piece. It's not hoarding if you use it. So here I take toothpicks and I'm going to put tacky glue, and then I'm going to take my 3-inch ball now. I went down an inch from 4 inch to 3 inch. Okay. And this is the upper portion of the body, like the chest and stuff, okay? And I'm going to do basically the same thing, okay? I'm going to roll out a snake. And I leave this in so you could see how it is that I mold these things, because a lot of people ask me, to show what what how I put it together. So I'm here figuring everything out and doing it. And there's a kitty cat telling me, "Oh my goodness, girl, what are you doing now?" And so I take tacky glue and put it all in the seam line. Yep, just like that. That's how I do it. And I then smooth it out from top to bottom, okay? And then I cut that extra piece off right there. And I just smooth it out on rolling it on my mat. Then I take another ball and I'm gonna roll that out. And this is with the good foam clay. You see how when you pull it, it it pulls like a string, like it's like really stringy and soft and stuff. So it's really nice. So here I roll out the ball. And then I flatten it out, and then I'm doing the bottom, okay? Because since you could see that, you might be able to see this. I take and I put tacky glue on the bottom of this foam clay, push down on it, and then I cut the circle out. Okay, I'm sorry my head gets in the way, but I have to be able to see, right? And there you go. The bottom's all done with that one. Then I take the rest of the ball and roll it out real good. Smooth out everything. And then I roll it out flat. I try to make a circle, but I'm no good at rolling out circles. So, and then I take it and put tacky glue on the top of it so it doesn't shift. And I put some Also around the sides of the ball too. Okay, and the disc. Okay, and then I take the clay and I'm gonna lay it over top and then smooth all the edges out like I did before. And make sure you don't get any glue on your hands, because if you get glue on your hands and then you work with it, that's what happens. You seen how my hand got stuck on the glue because the foam. I mean, my hands got stuck on the foam. That foam, it sticks to everything. The only thing it doesn't stick to is silicone. It sticks to everything. I'm telling you, it is. You don't really. I put the tacky glue, but and that's only just to be safe. But foam clay sticks to everything. It sticks to this foam. I don't have to put the tacky glue, but I do that as extra precaution. So, and it helps with the cracking and stuff like that. So I set it to the side, and here I'm doing the hardest part is the doing the head. Okay. And his head is so big. And here I'm cutting the heart in half. Yeah, Smiley's having a heart attack. He's like, oh my God, no, you're going to kill the heart. Yeah, I'm breaking the heart right in half. So, so I take it and I cut it. And then I cut the rounded part off. Okay. And then I'm cutting the tip off on the bottom. Okay, and save those pieces. Like I said, you might need them later. And then at another time. And then I sand it all down and clean up some of that mess. Not all of it, because I'm going to keep making a mess with styrofoam until I'm ready to paint. I don't clean all that styrofoam off. I pick up the big pieces and stuff like that, but I don't clean my map. All right. So I'm taking the tacky glue once again, and I'm putting it on the part that I'm attaching to the disc, not to the disc, because I'll be wasting glue if I do that. Okay. So here I'm taking a comb and I'm cutting the bottom half, because I'm going to use the bottom half. And then remember that piece I cut off I told you I'm going to use again? Here it goes. So I trimmed this down a little bit to make it smooth and even. I'm not worried about gaps. I tell you how I'm going to fill that in anyways. So then I take tacky glue and put it on the lid part, the round circle, okay, and cap that and make that rounded. Then I measure it on top of the disc, okay, and I left that circle there to help me be, to be my guide. Okay, so then I put tacky glue all on the toothpicks and all around the cone part, okay? Because remember what I said, don't put it on the foam, on the disc, because then you'll be wasting it. And there I line it up to the back side of the disc, and I push in 2 toothpicks to hold that together. I had to use my rolling pin to help me push it in because it was sharp on the other end. And I think I snapped even one. That's how sharp and hard they are to get in. Okay? Excuse me. I'm sorry. And then I take foam clay. Now we're going to start building the face. And this is very complicated. I have a lot of difficulties and with smoothing everything out and all, but I get it. So there I cut the bottom circle out and smooth that out. Then with the remaining part that I have there, I take and smooth out another spot, and I do the top half and smooth that all out. Okay, I don't show you it all. Okay, because I get off camera here too much. So, because I got to pull it close to me to see what I'm doing and to see all the cracks, the spaces, the empty gaps and stuff. So sometimes I get a little bit off camera, but I bring it right back, okay? And here I smooth that out, and then I add another piece. I roll out a snake and flatten it out and add another piece to the bottom half of this. And I use my mat to roll it out and smooth it out, help smooth it out. Okay. And then there, see, that's what I do right there. I made a snake and then flatten it out and smooth that out. There you go. And then, and I smooth it out to the disc. Okay. And there I take and make another snake and smooth that out to the back part to join together with the top part that I made. Okay. And I have to smooth that out too. This was a lot of patting and smoothing and blending. And it's nice because foam play blends real nice and it sticks to one another. If I was using regular clay here, I would like air dry clay. I would have to put tacky glue every time or like tight quick bond tight, quick bond, quick and thick type on or whatever glue. I would have to use something like that to hold it together. Not here. That with the foam clay, it joins to one another easy, just like that. Smooth. All I gotta do is just smooth it out and add it, and it sticks to the foam really good. Then I roll two balls, and those are my cheekbones. Okay, I'm sorry, I was busy talking there, and I add them to the sides there, and those are the cheekbones, because Olaf has high cheekbones, right? So that's the cheekbones, okay? And then I do the front, like upper lip area, okay? And I'm sealing that now off and attaching it together to the cheekbones. And I'm using my tools. Now you're going to see me pulling out tools. I'm just using the back end of my saw now because I don't have excuse me, one of those precision rollers. You could use one. I Mine's are too small because a lot of my tools like that are like for nail art because I do nail art too. Okay, so it's hard, to roll that out with your fingers, because you can't get into it precisely. And there I do the nose cavity, okay? I do the impression there. You see it? Okay? And then I take and make a flattened snake again and do the upper lip. And I smooth that out and blend it in like so. And I bring it close to me, but I bring it back. You'll see. I'll bring it back and lay it right on the table so you can see. All I'm doing is smoothing it out when I bring it to me. Then I take another ball and I flatten this out. Now we're gonna do the eye sockets. Cool, isn't that neat? Um, so we're doing like the skeleton of the yeah, of the snowman. There goes Smiley, like, ooh, that is cool. And then I'm doing the upper part of the nose cavity where I'm going to be placing the nose. And with my tool, I'm pressing in the eye sockets and forming the surrounding area with little snakes that I put in. And then I make two small balls. One of them is a little bit bigger than the other, and I didn't realize it until after I glued it on, and so I just left it. I mean, it's not, I mean, you really got to look at it to see. I'm real fussy, but you see how I keep messing with it then because it bothers me. But you don't really see it at the end. Okay, and then there I'm smoothing everything out with my tool, the rounded part at the end of it, and just smoothing it out, trying to get as much as possible of those lines taken away. Okay, And there I'm doing the imprint, fixing the imprint of the eye. Then I take and I roll out another snake and flatten that out. And then I roll it out to make the carrot. And I attach the carrot. I make it into like a point and attach that right into the nose cavity. Okay, and smoothing everything out. Now I'm doing the upper part of the mouth. And I'm rolling it, and then I'm gonna do it into like a half circle, and attaching that, and then smoothing it out and pulling it downward because I'm gonna be doing the mouth area, and then I'm smoothing all the lines out with my tool, and then I grab another piece, and here we're gonna do the mouth area. And it's like a upside down triangle with the, instead of the tip being pointy, it's a little rounded, okay? And I just, that's going to be like his smile, okay? And smoothing that out. Then I'm making a snake to go all around that, and that's going to be like his lower lip, all right? And I'm going to put that around where the smile is and attach that, smooth everything all out. Then I'm doing the chin area and the jawline. Okay, now I have a lot of problems with trying to smooth this out and making it right, and not having my fingers. And it started, the other parts of the clay are already starting to dry, so they don't want to cooperate with me. So I do have a lot of problems here as I'm building the bottom half of his jaw and the bottom part of his head, like in the nape area in the back. Okay, but I get it. I keep pulling it towards me because I have to smooth it out. And I'm sorry I'm off camera. I cut some parts off so you don't, sit here wondering what I'm doing and stuff because you can't see. But you see how it's all wrinkled and puffy, and it was lifting. So I had to add more clay and then smooth it all out as best as I could. Okay, and I did that, and then I take it all the way to the end, and I use one of my soft silicone utensils to help me smooth some of the pieces out, and put the indentation of the lip with the chin, so it's a smooth transition, so it doesn't look separated. Okay, and I keep pulling it towards me. I am so sorry I'm off camera here, but I'm really struggling with that part. And I did cut some of this out, but I guess not all of it. All right, and there I add some more clay to that area because it separated so much that it became empty. So there I have to smooth all that in. Okay, and it was drying like really fast. I don't know why it was drying so fast. I think my room was really dry too. I had problems like breathing in my craft room. It was raining outside and it was really damp out. It could have been that. Okay, it was damp and cold. Very, very cold yesterday when I was doing this. Okay, and then I'm there smoothing this out and blending the other side, joining together the chin and the nape area to the left side front. Okay, and I smooth it out as best I can. But you got to remember, he's a snowman. And what snowman is completely smooth? Only a cartoon one, but not a clay one or a real snowman will not be perfectly smooth unless you sit there like this right here doing that head took me an hour and a half to do. Okay. Versus the other ones were like 10, 15 minutes max. Um, but here I take a piece and cut it into form it into a square, and then I indent it in the middle, and that's his teeth. Okay, I'm sorry, I was busy talking here, like always. See there, the transition was really not smooth at all, so I add another piece and smooth that out, and then I take my tool to fix the indentation because when I did the back, I flattened the lip. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what is going on here? And so there, I smooth it out, and he's looking good, and the kitty says it looks good too. So then here I take two-inch styrofoam balls. I recommend to use a 3-inch because I use the 2-inch and the balance is a little bit off on this. I had a lot of problems with that, with it standing on its own. And here I roll two balls out because we're gonna flatten them out and put them over top of well, we're gonna do the bottom part first, okay, and then we're gonna do the top part. And I only show you me doing one, okay? So now I flatten it out. Oh no, I guess I show you both. I thought I had cut it out. I'm so sorry. So I cut that out. Then I take and make another ball and roll it, and then I'm going to put it over the top. I think I might only show you one of this. I put the tacky glue over it like I did the other one, just to be on the safe side. You really don't have to do this again. All right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And there I rub it smooth. Okay. Make sure that I blend it with the bottom and the top. I had to add a little bit because it was getting kind of thin. And I just smooth it out on the mat and pat it until it's nice and smooth. And then I show you. And it's so cool because it really looks like snow. Like when you make snowballs. See, I only show you one. All right, so here we're going to do is we're going to put everything together now. Now that's the bottom part of the body. And we put a toothpick in the center of each one and put some tacky glue on it. Okay, and I put it only halfway because I'm going to add the tacky glue to the disc on the bottom where they're going to meet at, okay? And I push it down completely. Then I take a skewer stick and I cut it in an angle a little bit so it's pointing on both sides. And then push two of them dead center. Then I take that and cover that with tacky glue and then put some on the bottom there around the toothpick and the skewer sticks, and then on the bottom of the upper part of the portion of the body, I do the whole thing and then I push it. And you see how he's falling a little bit? That's what I'm telling you. I have a lot of problems with his stability because he's top heavy. Okay, so I recommend that you use 3-inch circles instead of the 2-inch circles for the feet, okay, to give it better stability. I had to glue them onto a disc um, and do like the toothpick thing and the tacky glues to adhere them. And I added the head. I forgot to talk about that. Now we're going to do the arms. I'm going to do the arms in wire. And the reason why I'm using wire instead of a stick is because I'm going to fold it. So I make them 6.5 inches long. And I take these tiny, small balls and I cut it in half. Okay, because the rounded part will be the hand, like the hand part, and the backhand will be the smooth part. Okay, and then I put tacky glue on the tips and push it in, and then I'm gonna take some foam clay. Well, I bend the one completely bent first, and then the other one a little bit bent, not all the way bent. Then I take some more glue and I roll it out into a snake and flatten it out so it's nice and thick still. It's like eighth of an inch thick, okay? And I squeeze them, pinch them together, and then I make this really lumpy because you want it to be lumpy because it's supposed to look like wood because his arms are twigs, right? Every snowman's arms are twigs. Except for Frosty's. His were made out of snow. He was all snow, no twigs. Isn't that cool, though? How, that he was all snow. He was so magical. And there I cover the foam and join it together with the clay. And then I start forming the fingers, okay? And Olaf has 4 fingers, so I'm making 4 fingers and attaching them. And there you go. I got all 4 fingers and I attach them and smooth them out. And I don't show you the other one when I make the other one because it's basically the same thing except on opposite sides. Okay. And then I take a skewer stick and push it into the side of the body so I can have a pre-hole. And then I take my wire and I put tacky glue in and attach it. And then I add a little piece around it to, he just fainted. And there I'm going to show you. Here you're going to be able to see it more. There, see how I push it in with the tacky glue? Push it in and then bring down the clay and blend it into the body. Okay, and there you go. And he's done. So I set him to the side to dry for a while. Yeah, before I start painting, because I'm going to be painting this next. Oh, I forgot. I had to make the buttons. So I take 3 balls, and his buttons I think were made out of coal because they weren't completely rounded. And yeah, they were made out of coal. So I mean, mines are basically round, but not perfectly round. By the time I'm done putting them on and stuff and smoothing them out, they're not perfectly round, so they kind of match. Okay, and then I put one on the top part of the portion of the body and 2 on the lower portion of the body. Now these are twigs that I had that I saved from when I pull flowers off the stem. Okay, and those are what's left over, and I trimmed some of them down and then cut them, and then I attached them with glue, hot glue, and then I pre-did a hole, and then I push it right there, and those are his little hairs that he has. Um, they're hairs, but they're twigs. Okay, and then I attach them to the head, and I clear all the glue off, and then I put glue on the top to seal them all together. Now here I take 3 tablespoons of white paint from Apple Barrel, 1 tablespoon of lightweight spackle, and 1 tablespoon of glossy Mod Podge, and I mix it together, and I paint the whole thing with that, and then I set it to dry overnight. Okay, and I also painted the nose, and I'm sorry, I don't know what I did with the footage. Lost it somehow. But I painted it just orange from Apple Barrel. And then now I'm going to take nutmeg brown from Apple Barrel. And I'm going to paint the arms and the twigs. And here I didn't tell you I painted the buttons, the mouth, the eyes, the eyebrows in black. Okay. And then here I'm going to Mod Podge everything that's white with this Mod Podge Sparkle. It has glitter in it automatically. So that way I don't have to deal with more mess because I was dealing with the mess from the foam. Here I deal with less mess because the glue is the Mod Podge already has the glitter. And I don't know if you could see it on the camera if it shows it too well, but here I brush it on so you can see what it looks like. You'll see it better in the final reveal. And then I take gloss Mod Podge and paint all the rest. So here we are at the final review. My Olaf! Oh, he's so cute. He came out so darling. Look, oh my goodness. I could just hug him. He is so adorable. He's my second favorite. My first favorite is Frosty. Okay. And yeah, um, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Um, the, without you guys, I wouldn't be anywhere or anyone, you know what I mean? And I really appreciate that you come all the time and check out my channel and watch my videos. And I know some of my videos are very detailed, and it's because this is a tutorial. I am here to inspire you so you can create the crafts and see the work that we crafters put into our work. And talking about crafters, go check out Brenda and her channel and her video. She is amazing also. She does so many different crafts. She's also a versatile creator like me. Her specialty, she loves to work with wood, okay? And she does a lot of crafting that is fun. Okay, and here is Frosty together with Olaf, both of them, because I created Frosty too. So I'm gonna have a poll at the end, okay? And I don't know if I could put it in here. I'm gonna put it in here. If it's not in there, then it will be in the description box below. And the poll is asking you to choose who would you like better, Frosty or do you like Olaf? Which one is your favorite? Frosty being the traditional and Olaf being the Millennium Snowman. Okay, and you go to my channel, and I'll put the link either there in the description box below, and you could choose choose who is the one that you like the most. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a giveaway. Okay, I'm going to create two ornaments, one of Frosty and one of Olaf. And if you participate, I'll enter you into the drawing. And then whoever is the winner gets entered a second time, okay, for the drawing. And then I'll do the drawing on my next video after that within 2 weeks, okay? So thank you again for watching. Go ahead, check out Brenda, and see you on Sunday with my next video of crafting our way to Christmas series number 7, and that's going to be with Cindy from Z9 Designs. Thank you and stay blessed. Love you. Bye bye.